So let us add a support of database also now, so that the data that we were saving earlier to the static variables earlier, those can be saved into the database. So I am choosing a database called MongoDB. This is a NoSQL database platform. NoSQL means not only SQL. Uh, Basically, there won't be any structured data models for this. All the data is saved in the database as simple JSON documents, and it is free to use. That's why I have chosen MongoDB. And on top of MongoDB, I'm going to use Flapdoodle. There is a library for MongoDB to run in memory in the application. So I'm using Flapdoodle support also in this application, so that I need not install MongoDB wherever I run this application. Spring Boot can simply spin up the Tomcat server and deploy the application there. And also Spring Boot will help in starting the Flapdoodle server, which is a in-memory MongoDB server. And obviously the data saved into the database will be deleted by end of the application lifetime. So this is not for a real production based application. This is only for the demo purpose application. So if we remove the Flapdoodle dependency here, automatically it will try to connect to the MongoDB in the local system. Okay, how to get this dependency now? MongoDB dependency. So I just Googled for Spring Boot starter data MongoDB. I got this dependency called dependency like this. So it is in a Maven repository. This is a public site where all the Maven dependencies will be imported from. So all the Maven dependencies that we added in this POM XML here, they're all imported from Maven Central. Usually in enterprise systems, like in any, if you're working in any organization, everybody has their own local repository. Artifactory is one of those repositories that are used by the enterprises. Spring Boot starter data MongoDB is a library provided by Spring Boot for supporting MongoDB related operations. Also, now let us add a library called Flapdoodle. Let me search that here in Maven Central. Version is not required because it is natively supported by Spring Boot as well. Spring Boot determines the version for this Flapdoodle, so I'm not mentioning it. Update project. For Maven clean install, every time I need not run clean install here. So I'll find out where Maven is. Maven build, new configuration. I can select the workspace. This is the workspace I want to run on. Spring Boot clean install. My goal is to clean it first and then install that. That means it will do the build. Okay, now I'll run it. So next time I want to run this clean install, after any change, I just need to click on this option. On the top, there is a run configuration button. I click that, Spring Boot clean install is available. Okay, now the build is done. So let us add the entity here. That means in order to store the data in the database, we have to choose the object. So here we have an entity here. Ideally, this is called as a document. So let us rename that package also. Let me do that here. Rename. I will say I'll rename the package to document. Okay, now in order to make it a MongoDB compliant, I have to add an annotation called document, and that will work. I mean, so user info object will be saved in the MongoDB now, and we have to mention what is the ID here. So, okay, now we have to create a repository for it. So this entity is created, but how do we save it to the database? We can save it to the database by creating a repository. For maintaining all the repositories, I maintain a new folder called repository folder, and add in a repository called with the same class name, almost similar class name as that of the document, that is user info repository. Here I have to extend a Mongo repository. User info is the type of the entity there, and then the data type of the primary key there is long. In the user, the data type of the primary key is long. The data type of ID is long, so I mentioned that. Oh, sorry, this is an interface. This is not a class, this is an interface. We can very well open the controller now. User controller. Here, this is where we are creating the user entities. We are saving the user entities somewhere. Now we are going to change it to save it to the database. So we'll remove this one. We'll remove this create a user information. We'll create a service here. We create a service class here. User info service. This is where we can write all our business logic. So this function can be called from controller, but we have to define it as a service. Otherwise, Spring cannot recognize this class and we cannot inject that in the controller class. So here, let us add this variable private user info service. Yeah, I can add AutoWire here, but I don't want to use that. I want to use a constructor of this controller and then inject it there. The reason for this is this will also AutoWire. Spring will always initialize all the service classes, or basically all the components like this are initialized during the startup time, and they will inject them into the constructor of any other component. Basically, because this is a REST controller, this is identified by the Spring as a different component, and it will see the constructor for this class and inject and pass that other bean which is initialized by Spring as a parameter to this, and then we are setting it to the local variable. Now this user info service can be used for creating this user info object. Okay, now call will go there. Now let us copy the log line also here. and here I wanted to save it to the database. What can I do? I have to use the repository, user info repository here. Private user info repository. I have to inject it here. Again, instead of auto wiring it over the property directly, I will create a constructor for the service class and initialize it there. So I can use user info repository dot save, and what can I save? I can save this user info. Basically that this repository class user info repository is extending Mongo repository. Inside this Mongo repository there is a function called save. Now let me run this application now. Let us try to save the data to the database and see if it is saved into the MongoDB which is there in memory. It started, MongoDB started on port 6598. I installed a MongoDB client called Robo3T. So here we have to create a new connection, direct connection. Localhost, and the port is the one we have chosen. Test connected. Now let us save it, then connect to it, and then let us see what collections are there. So there is nothing initially, there are no data sets initially. So let us go to Swagger UI and then try to create an object as user info object. Age 1, ID 1, execute. What does the log say? Log doesn't say there is any error. It looks like it is created. Refresh. Now test database, collections, user info. You see, user info object is created with 4 fields. Now we can extend that to other types of operations also. So far we have implemented it only for the creation. We can use the same for getting the list of all user info objects. I'm fast forwarding the coding of the rest of the CRUD operations. Basically the coding changes are done in controller, service and repository classes. Now I'll run the application. I added all the required service level implementations here, and in the service class all the database operations are implemented, and I don't need to add anything in the repository because all of the functions related to database are already provided by Mongo repository, provided by Spring, so I need not do anything. Start the application now. Okay. One thing you have to notice, every time, because we are using in-memory database for MongoDB, which is flapdoodle, so the port will change every time. So we have to see that the same port is used. So let us disconnect and edit it, change the port, save and connect, and then refresh. Now let us create some object again, like how we have done earlier. User info controller, post, try it out. Age is 1, ID is 1, Ravi is the name, execute. Age is 2, ID is 2, execute. Age is 3, ID is 3, execute. Now let us check the database. Did we get all of them? Yes. There are 4 documents here. First one is Ravi, Swati and Ram. The 4 are there. Just wanted to show you one fun factor. Every time we start the Spring Boot application, we are getting this label. We can change that. Spring Boot banner. Here I can give some name called Boot Demo. We can add it under the resources with a file name called banner.txt. Add it. Next time I start the application, it will start with that banner.